Hello and welcome back. I'm just out here this morning checking on damage that might have been done from the hail. Looks like the columbine went by well, but I do have a casualty. One of our tree limbs just got thrown off into the yard, but other than that, and then of course all of the debris everywhere, which I'll be sweeping soon. Thought I'd come out here and show you the orchids that are sitting outside. I did finally get my shower curtain up. Let's go over here behind the glare for me. So what I did is I got a dowel rod. It's actually for the closet. And I used these little hooks here that my husband had to attach it. And then of course hung the curtain up there. And this curtain does have those weights at the bottom, but I still ended up tying it, kind of zip tying it in different spots on either side. Because as you can see, there's this nice, it blows a lot. It's always a nice breeze through here. My dogs are inside wanting to come out. So if you hear them howling, they're trying to talk to me. And I've tried to do this about 5 times now and they just won't stop. They want to be outside with me. So I do apologize for that, but I also cut some holes to kind of, allow it to kind of blow a little more. But as you can see, when it comes in pretty hard. So last night, this one here, because the wind was blowing really hard, did get pushed back a little bit. So I'm just going to take this bamboo skewer here later, and I'm just going to kind of rearrange her a little bit. She set as far back as I'm comfortable putting her, and her being, I guess I should tell you which one this is. So this one here is the RLC Chia Lin Super crossed with the RLC Hilo Grand. I grew her outside last year and she grew this beautiful growth right here, and she did spike. Now she does have several new growths on her. Let's see if I can find them. Oh, okay, so she's got, well, maybe one here, right there. And then, of course, she's got this one here that we can kind of see. And then she has this one here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with her. I don't want to unpot her and rearrange her, but I may have to set her back just a little bit because I did cut off quite a bit of the old part of the orchid to set her in here. So I may just take her out and just kind of push her back and settle her in so that when this curtain does blow, it's not blowing on this and uprooting her every time. Over here, I have the Spring Fragrance, I believe it is. Let's see. Let me read the tag. Spring Fragrance Paradise, which I think initially when I put her out here, I set her back a little bit because I think I killed the roots, or most of the roots died when I put her in here. I overwatered her. It was really cool at night. Not too cool where they couldn't be outside, but I think too cool for her to go to bed with wet roots. But she's got lots of new growths in here that will replace those roots, as well as she's still working on some new roots here, and they are going down into the media. So I'm very careful with her now until it gets a little bit warmer. Down here I have, we have the Naomi's Delight back here. And if you can see, she's got that lovely new growth right there. She did have another one on the other side, but I don't think that one's going to continue. Here we have the, I believe this is the Elaine Taylor. I always forget. Let's see. Yes, this is the Potnera Elaine Taylor Crewel Smith, and she needs a repot because she is very top heavy. And even if the curtain doesn't hit her, if the wind comes up under just right, it gets knocked over. She does have 2 new growths that are getting ready to start roots. Trying to wait on the roots, but I'm also afraid that if I don't do something soon, I'm going to damage that new growth. So I'm going to take the risk and keep my fingers crossed that it doesn't set her back, but I am going to repot her probably in the next day or so. Over here we have the Brassavola nodosa crossed with Cattleya Small World that has this beautiful growth right here that I'm trying to train to go that way, but it looks like she's going to do what she wants to do. We've got Key Lime out here, the Cattleya Key Lime, that is really pushing out her growth since I put her outside. So she's enjoying life out here. Oh, I see new root growth. I just noticed that. Look at that. beautiful. Love, love new root tips. But she also has quite a few roots inside the pot. This one here is the Willanette. Let's see. The BLC Willanette Wong, the best, crossed with BLC Onse Mendenhall. I got her as a seedling back in 2019. She's never bloomed. As you can see, her seedling leaves here. And then she's progressively growing them larger and larger. This one, and whoops, and this one. These three are her latest 3 growths. So she has produced a couple of blind sheaths in the last few growths. So maybe this will be her year for blooming. If not, I'm pretty sure she'll bloom next year. And then we've got Copper Queen here that I may end up having to put on a mount, because if you look at her growth habit, let me move this out of the way, she's a climber. So I put her in here last year and she's just still climbing out of the pot. I'm going to wait and see what she does, but I believe she's a climber, and she too has her root tips that are starting to activate again. And then the red on here, this is not anthocyanin from the light. This is cold. When I initially put them out here, again, it was getting a little too cool, and so she started to get that red anthocyanin, but it is slowly starting to turn green again. So that's what we have on this small shelf. Over here, I decided to bring my banana croton outside to see what it'll do. Well, you can see here the hail last night really got it. I don't know if you saw my post I posted, but I did post it last night. The hail anyway. I didn't notice this was going on, or I would have pulled her back some, but I think she'll be fine. She'll bounce back. Here I have a Cymbidium. This is Cymbidium insiflorum rainbow that, believe it or not, I got this off of Amazon. And this is how she came. She is a variegated Cymbidium, and her blooms are white with pink stripe throughout the sepals and the petals. Very, very pretty flower. Hoping maybe to get one in a year or so, but she does not have any new growth that I can see right now. She does have lots of roots in the pot, and everybody is going to get water today. It's supposed to stay nice and warm today. Here we have the RTH Colmenera, or Colmenera. I don't know how you want to say it. It's Colnmarie. So I call it Colnmarie. And I just think she looks fantabulous in this basket here. As you can see, her leaves have got a little bent up when she was a little dehydrated, and that is how they stayed. Here we have the Cucullata that can't really tell if that root is extending or if it aborted, but she did finish off this new growth over the winter. So just hoping for at least one more, and I'd love it if she would develop a 2-direction growth. One can hope. And what else do we have? And of course, got my lovely little beginnings of a succulent garden. So the Echeveria were the beginning to see what would happen. And as you can kind of see too, the hail really beat them up last night as well. But they'll all bounce back. And I just noticed something. Look at all of those lovelies there. Oh my, she just pushed out a bunch of babies all of a sudden. I did not even notice those. Oh, and this one over here too. All of them are. All of the red ones, look at that. Wowzers. Okay, I'm not mad about it. So I'm going to attempt to put, excuse me, another type in here this year and see what they do, and just kind of add a little bit year after year and go from there. Excuse me, guys, something in my throat. And then let's just go over here. I've got this Vanda that I did get from the Orchid Supply Store. Again, if you'd like to get a 12% discount, go to orchidsupplystore.com. Use coupon code TRIH at checkout. Get your 12% off. There's free shipping. They have pots. They have media for orchids. They have media for plants. Of course, they have orchids, house plants, pretty much anything that you need. Also, the month of June, Ken is doing a mount giveaway. So I will link the video where he explains what you need to do in order to get submitted to the drawing each week in the description below. But this is the Vanda Samurai Pink crossed with Covaldi fragrance. And she was in a hexagon basket, but she was drying out really, really fast out here. So I did put her into one of these plastic pots. They've got nice big aeration holes at the bottom for drainage. And she is in the large Vanda bark that you can get from Ken over at the Orchid Supply Store. And I just tore up some moss and sprinkled the moss around. And I believe, let's see, I know I saw a root. There it is. So that is nice to see. And then, of course, she is working on this leaf here. And I don't see her starting on another one quite yet. This one here is a Dendrobium phalaenopsis no ID that the nursery was selling as a nobile back in the day. And before I knew the difference, I got all excited. But she has only put up this growth and then this one last year. But look what we have down here. We have us a beautiful new growth. So I'm hoping growing her outside this year, maybe she'll bloom because she's supposed to be white. We will wait and see. Kingianum, I did take out of her decorative pot simply because I just didn't want her staying too wet because she is in small Orchiata Bark. And right before it started getting cool again, I had just watered, didn't want them staying too wet and too much humidity around those to ruin them. But let's set this down. Let me show you. We do have some lovely root growth going on down there. Now this is 2 pieces. When I took it out to repot it, they were all entangled. I left it as 2 pieces. And as you can see from the tag, she has been through quite a bit. I got it as a very small seedling. One had 1 leaf, the other one had 2 leaves back in 2019. And I believe we're doing just fine. And then remember my little puppy planter? Well, I put my Hibiki Keiki in there, and she has not had water for a while. So I am watering everybody. That's what made me think to go ahead and film the outside today, because it's going to get up to 80. Even though we are having rain forecasted, it is going to stay warm. And then my bromeliad, I decided to grow out here. She's been just growing leaves and not really doing anything. Let me let the truck pass. Sorry about that. But she's not been doing anything. And all of this is from when she was inside. This has nothing to do with her being outside. But I'm going to see if she does anything, does better growth this year. And then I don't think my amaryllis is going to do any more growth this year. Her leaves kept getting broken inside. And ever since I brought her outside, like, she's not dying off, but she's not producing any new leaf growth. So hopefully with the curtain up here, I do not get all of this sun damage that I have been getting last year. And I have rethought how I want to do this. Like, I have it tied here, and then it's attached to this stand, and then we had to put a big rock on here because if the wind was blowing, then it was tearing the stand off. But I do need to set it so maybe on the more gloomy days I can take it and open it up, take it away. I haven't quite decided. I might just see what it does like this for this year, and then next year do a different setup. Let me know if you have any ideas on that, and I will see you guys on the next one.